Hi, hello, how's it going? So I wanted to start a new series. I want to title it Just My Opinion. It's a series where I focus on talking about things that I might have an opinion on, whether it be comic books, gaming, art, just whatever I want to talk about. It's kind of like my little free space to, chat up with y'all and kind of have a free space for a community to, leave comments and talk about, the topic that I bring up. So anyways, our first topic is PlayStation. Recently, about 2 months ago, PlayStation had revealed that they were gonna stop making physical disc as of January 2028 with the release of the PlayStation 6. Now, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Also, they had revealed that due to the rising cost of hardware pieces, the PlayStation 6 would be valued around $1,000, making this their highest price. Is that how you say it? I don't know. It's an expensive console. Anyways, it's left a lot of people in the gaming community with a lot to say. Anyways, I'm not a hardcore gamer, so my opinion is only my opinion. I have played a lot of games. I've owned every PlayStation console since the PS1, so I have a special relationship with PlayStation. It is a little sad for me to hear that they are making this move, because PlayStation's always, at least in my opinion, seemed to me that they've always been about the consumer, but it seems to me that they're going more of, the corporate greed route.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this thing, not join them!
It's kind of the pitfall that Xbox put themselves in with their last console release. Basically, I just wanted to, chat up with y'all and see how y'all were feeling about the situation. Personally, this is not the way I wanted PlayStation to go out. Like I said, I've always had a special relationship with PlayStation ever since I first started playing with the Tomb Raider series and the Crash Bandicoots on the original PlayStation. I also had Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro, dope series. So I'm not new to PlayStation. And then when we moved on to PlayStation 2, we had Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Coopers. We had a bunch of games that, they bring a lot of memories that, I hold and cherish. I also remember when games had booklets and covers in them and everything, like little treasures in them that you could visually see. And the fact that they're taking away physical media is just heartbreaking, because I'm a guy that collects a lot of physical media. I just started collecting vinyls not too recently of some of my favorite albums, and it just feels like with this step, it's not gonna be too long to where other companies start to follow suit. Like, I already know Xbox was already on this wave, and I can also see Nintendo probably riding this wave eventually as well. And that's my biggest regret. I know streaming is a big thing nowadays, and it is convenient, but at the same time, I want to say streaming is a double-edged sword, because basically companies are paying to license property, whether it be a TV show or a company's whole digital library. Companies are basically paying for that license, and if you buy stuff digitally, they're just letting you have access to that license. So at any point the company's contract falls through, which happened with Sony recently, where they had lost their license and a bunch of media that people bought. I'm thinking some of the Rambo movies and Terminator movies that people bought directly from Sony were just lost. I remember before when Funimation was a thing, and I had bought some anime, and I got the physical, but it also had like a digital access code to where I basically had access to my content digitally. And once Crunchyroll bought it, I lost all access to all that stuff. Like, there's no more access. And then when I went researching online, they basically said digital library is gone, and there's nothing I could do about that. So basically people were saying on their tweets, if buying isn't really owning, then pirating isn't really stealing, which holds merit, because at the end of the day, you have paid for the media, and for you not to completely have access to that till the day you die or your account is, I don't know, magically erased, I feel is just wrong. It feels like it's more like you're just renting some property for a long period of time, and I'm just not an advocate of that. I feel like I like tangible things. I like holding things. I really liked back in the day when you had books that came with, you know, your games. It was like a nice special surprise that you could like read in the car as you were driving home ready to play your game. Or, you know, at nighttime when you had to shut your game off, you could still look in the booklet and kind of like, you know, get familiar with the controls and get familiar with the instructions. They were just a nice little tidbit, and I feel like certain things like that are just taken away. Nowadays, I'm older. I'm almost 30.
Damn!
And I don't have quite as much time to play games as I would like. A lot of the times I just avoid playing games because I feel like I never really have time to like get into the groove or the flow of it. But this is heart-wrenching news, honestly. I really feel for like hardcore gamers. It's starting to become more of a luxury thing to do instead of something that you could come back from a long day of work or school and, you know, just turn your console on and kind of forget about the day, kind of release all your stress into the game. So, you know, it's hurtful. And I feel like part of it is due to the fact that gaming has like grown exponentially. Like when I was a kid, like there were more games for kids, and as, you know, time has gone on, games got more mature into the PS3 era, and then the PS4 era basically made most AAA games for basically adults. It didn't really introduce gaming to like a younger audience, which has caused gaming to be, one, more expensive. And lately Roblox and Fortnite have taken over the child market, as well as Nintendo. Nintendo has seemed to hold on by having, you know, their releases of Mario, Pokemon, and all their other franchises like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and all those other things. But honestly, I feel like this is the end of an era. Like I remember there was an era where people were excited to camp out. It was like what people did to camp out for shoes, you know? Like people camped out, they waited in line for a release. And nowadays it's like, you know, you could just click a button and just have your, you know, game on your software, which is convenient sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. I do own some digital games. Nothing that I'm worried about losing, just cause usually when I buy digitally, it's like for like a game's like $5 on the PlayStation store, so I'll cop it or something. Like affects the people that are buying digitally, because now PlayStation can control what price they set their games to, and now people are basically forced to just shell out what, $70-$80 for a game nowadays, like, and with no hope of a sale basically. So I had a feeling this would happen when Xbox and PlayStation started buying up different gaming studios, and that was my first little hint was when they started not completing their games and they started just releasing the disc and then just patching them up later. The second hint was when they started buying up studios for exclusives, and now this is just the natural progression of the way things have gone. It's partly us as consumers, it's partly our fault, just because we've kind of just let things slide as time has gone. You know, they delivered us good products that we just like, you know, I would pay for that. Yeah, I would pay for that. And at the end of the day, we set the price on things that, you know, we find valuable. So, you know, there are games like God of War, the recent Spider-Man games, the Arkham games that have gotten just better over time and, you know, have just, you know, I don't know, increased in quality over time, and they're more expensive to make, which has caused. Also, the PS5, when it came out during COVID time. So it was very limited when we got it, and I feel that, you know, the run for it just hasn't been very long, to be honest. And also, they haven't really released exclusives like that for it. Like, you know, when the PS4 had came out, there was a real big jump from the PS3 to the PS4. You know what I mean? Like graphically, you could see the difference. Nowadays, when you get a PS, like when you saw the jump from the PS4 to the PS5, I was like, there really wasn't much other than the lighting and maybe some of the texture. But I was like, there wasn't really much of a difference to where, you know, I feel like the PS5 really revolutionized anything. And that's my whole thing with gaming. Like, I don't feel like graphics in games don't necessarily need to be photorealistic. Like there are games like Breath of the Wild that were put on the Nintendo Switch that, you know, are stylized in a way that it's compatible with the hardware that it's playing on. And I don't know, I think I'm opting for more stylized games because it's just like the photorealistic look is cool, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really provide any distinguishing characteristics from your normal day-to-day game. Like nowadays, Sony's getting a lot of pushback for all the products that they're releasing now. Like the Wolverine game that's coming out probably next month is getting a lot of pushback because it's following the same formula as other Sony products, and people are just pushing back because they're angry. And I understand why, because as a consumer, I'd be angry too if I'd have to pay $1,000 for a console when I could just pay $1,000 for a PC, or I could just, you know, invest a little more into that $1,000 to buy a better functioning PC. So, and a lot of Sony's media has been ported to the PC, so it's like, why would I not just get a PC? I don't see how Sony's not seeing the detriment to this. And I know they're doubling down, saying that, you know, we're still gonna, you know, go digitally. But at the end of the day, I could see this plan backfiring on Sony and maybe them ending up like a Sega company where they just develop games and not have any consoles anymore. I could see this being more of a studio that makes games instead of making consoles, or, you know, being the conglomerate that they are now. Yeah, it's a lot of corporate greed going on, and, you know, it's been happening everywhere, whether it be Apple, who will constantly update their console software to, or just stop updating it to, you know, have it perform worse. Like a lot of products aren't made to last like they used to, and unfortunately companies don't make money off of products that last. So this is the natural progression, and I'm as somebody that casually plays games, or somebody that used to play games a lot, this really hurts me because I'm like, the PS5 is probably my last console, and honestly, you know, it's just sad because the fact that the PS5 had came out with like hardware where you could play your previous PS4 games, so you didn't have to buy whole new games, was like the greatest thing ever. I was like, that's the smartest deal ever. But also the PS5 is on the lower tier of Sony's the highest selling console, and understandably, because like I said, the graphics did not upgrade as much as when you had a PS3 jumping to a PS4. Like it was a huge drastic change. Like I remember buying my PS4 and I was so excited. Like I was so excited to play it. I was so excited for the games. Final Fantasy 15 I played on it. Uncharted 4. Like it was such night and day difference. Like, and now it's like, now people are dreading the PS6. Like they're like bracing themselves for the hit. A lot of your hardcore gamers are either bracing themselves for the hit or just ready to transition to the next logical step, which is getting a PC, which most of your hardcore gamers already have a PC. But as for your, you know, casual ones, I don't see them. I see the PS6 being even lower sales than the PS5, and you know, that's just saying something. And like I said, I feel like we just got the PS5 like not too long ago. It's mainly because of COVID. Like COVID had taken out like 3 years to where it was so hard to get a PS5. And when I finally got my PS5, I mean, I was happy, but at the same time, there was nothing that really differentiated it from the PS4. There were no they were still making games for the PS4, so it wasn't really like I was making a leap, if anything. Like I didn't really need anything. Like I think the only thing I got my PS5 for was to play Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 16, which, don't get me wrong, are astronomical games, but Spider-Man PS2 was, I wouldn't say, you know, I had fun playing it, but as far as like story-wise, I mean, it's one of those games that you just kind of, you know, you're just like, It's one of those casual games that you just kind of pop in to, you know, swing around for a little bit, fight some bad guys, put on some cool new suits and just, you know, chill. But yeah, I don't know. I know this is different content than what I'm usually putting out, but I just wanted to share my opinion on it. Tell me what you think about this whole Sony decision that they made. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are on the same boat as me. Some of y'all probably do buy digital and don't really care, but this doesn't just affect, you know, doesn't just affect games. Sony also is the company that makes Blu-rays too, so a lot of Blu-rays will probably follow suit as well. Eventually everything will just be media. I know of recently, dang, I'm falling on a tangent again, but I know of recently Crunchyroll had just taken down, what's that anime, Black Lagoon? It's one of my top rated animes. They just took it down, and now you can't really find it anywhere unless you have a physical copy like I do, which is generally what you're gonna have to do nowadays. HBO Max had taken down most of their Cartoon Network library, because it was too expensive. It was just draining their pockets to just have it just sitting on HBO Max. So it was off of, you couldn't find any Cartoon Network content for a while until they put it on Tubi. But you know, it was like a couple months that span where you couldn't find any Cartoon Network content. You couldn't find Billy and Mandy, you couldn't find Foster's Home, you couldn't find Codename Kid Next Door. And now luckily Tubi has, you know, the rights to some of that content, but at the same time, how much is that gonna hold on for? So it's a scary time we're in. Another thing, HBO Max had just taken down Samurai Jack. Luckily it's still on the Adult Swim app, but for how long? So you just kind of want to be mindful, you know, pay attention, because people are just locking things behind a paywall, and you might miss out on some of your childhood. So just be careful out there. Like I said, feel free to share your opinion. Does this affect you? Do you really care? I love to hear everybody's concerns. I love to hear everybody's opinion. This is a free space to share your opinions. I'd love to chat with everybody. So, you know, chime down in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole decision. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one. So I'll see you. And also, if you enjoy the content, feel free to like and subscribe. I plan on posting more things like this because I did enjoy talking about this. Like I've had this like weighing on my chest for a minute, and I've always wanted somebody to talk to about it. And you know, that's why I got you guys. So, you know, anyways, I'm gonna see y'all. I'm gonna edit this up and post it. So I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. All right.